Good morning, everybody. Are you ready for BeanCon'24? All right. My name is Rebecca Bratter. I think I met a lot of you last night. I'm the Executive Director of the U.S. Dry Bean Council, and I want to welcome all of you and thank you so much for being with us here at BeanCon'24. I want to kind of continue on the theme. We spoke a little bit at the reception about the need to take our message from this conference room, from these walls out into the world about beans. So, it was funny when I was getting ready to come here to BeanCon. Everybody knew that I was coming to Cancun, and people started asking me, "Oh, what are you doing in Cancun? You're going on vacation, right?" No, I'm going to BeanCon'24. And a couple of my friends laughed at me. They were like, BeanCon? Like, you're going to spend a whole day talking about beans? What's there to talk about? And I said, what? You don't know about beans? How do you not know about beans? We could talk for days, weeks about beans. But, I think that's the thing. For us, we know we could talk forever about beans and all the incredible nutritional and climate smart and taste and versatility qualities of beans, but we have to take that message from this room, from these walls, out into the world. And that is the reason why we started BeanCon. We started this in 2021. We were virtual because, of course, we started right when the pandemic hit, and now here we are today in beautiful Cancun, Mexico, and I'm just so excited to see how far we've come and to see you all here. The idea with BeanCon is to really permeate every sector and segment to bring our bean message out into the world. And I want to tell you a little bit about how we're going to do that today. You're going to hear so many different perspectives about beans from so many different people. You'll hear from renowned chefs from the UK, from the United States, from Australia, as far as Australia. You're going to hear from a young woman-owned boutique bean brand, and she is elevating beans in the UK. You're going to hear also from one of the most recognized US bean brands as well, and hear what these companies are doing to elevate beans. You're going to be treated to unique insight from a globally recognized author and thought leader in climate-smart food systems. You're going to hear from the military. You're going to hear from schools. You're going to hear from universities. You're going to learn from policymakers as well in the US, policymakers in Europe, policymakers in Africa. And you're going to hear from food manufacturers in the US, food manufacturers in Latin America. You're going to hear from medical doctors and nutritionists. They're going to provide some of those scientific details that we all need to have and evidence about beans and health. And then, of course, our friends at the Blue Zones are going to once again inspire us as they break through to the mainstream because they are now on Netflix, which I was very excited about. And they will show us again their evidence about longevity. And so these are all of the different perspectives you're going to hear that are going to help us take our message from this room out into the world. What we want to do today is leave you with a call to action. Our call is to double global dry bean consumption. Our call is to double global dry bean consumption by 2028. And if all of that wasn't enough, we have some incredible events planned for you tomorrow as well. Tomorrow there will be business meetings, and so buyers and sellers will get together. Tomorrow we're going to get into some of the more specific details and talk about working with bean ingredients, flours, dehy. And then we're going to follow that up with a workshop on how we reach out to the new younger generations. How do we reach out to millennials and Gen Z using social media, which everybody uses today, to continue to drive home our message about beans. And then tonight, we will celebrate again We'll celebrate the elegance and deliciousness of beans, and we will be treated to an incredible selection of innovative bean dishes by Mexican superstar chef Carlos Leal. So we have a lot to look forward to. And we have the Caribbean Sea and this beautiful beach as our backdrop. So I think I feel pretty lucky about where we are and what we're doing today. Our panel, I am just beyond excited to share this incredible panel of speakers with you today. Before we get started with our program, there are a lot of people to thank, and we wouldn't be here without their support. So I first want to thank our partners at the USDA Foreign Agricultural Service who support us to be able to carry on every BeanCon'24 and beyond. I also need to thank our incredible industry members. They have really stepped up to ensure that this event is even more incredible than it's ever been. I want to give a huge thanks to our title sponsor, Michigan Bean Commission, and I want to thank very strongly the North Harvest bean growers who are sponsoring our bean extravaganza tonight. And there are more sponsors. I want to thank our lead sponsor, Bueller, and I want to thank our sustaining sponsors, New Alliance, California Beans, and our supporting sponsors, Fessenden Co-op and Wyoming Bean Association. Altogether, they have helped ensure that this event is going to be absolutely unforgettable. Now, I have to also thank my Bean Dream team. This obviously is a team effort. This is something we've been working on for a year. And so I need to give incredible thanks to my Bean Dream team, Dee, Raul, Chelsea, Nathan. Everybody helped us pull this event together. We could not do it without you. So, yay. Yay, yay, yay. So you can see how many people it takes to bring together a production like this, and I'm grateful to everybody. So what I want to do now, we're about to get started with our program. We're going to have a few welcome remarks. I want to first introduce you to your MC for the event, who's going to take you through the rest of the day. Raul Caballero is the head of our office here in Mexico, and so I'd like to introduce you to Raul. Y yo hablo español, pero yo creo que es mejor que Raúl dedique algunas palabras, pero a todos las compañías y colegas de México, bienvenidos. Raúl Caballero.
Gracias, Rebeca. Muy buenos días a todos. Bienvenidos nuevamente aquí a BeanCon'24. Y bueno, pues un excelente mensaje de Rebeca. No voy a ser repetitivo, pero creo que sí es importante considerar que nosotros los latinoamericanos tenemos que reinventar el frijol, ¿no? Tenemos que sacarlo de lo tradicional y llevarlo a otro plano, ¿no? Llevarlo a un consumo de valor agregado y buscarle otras oportunidades. Yo creo que el día de hoy vamos a tener la oportunidad de ver todas estas tendencias que seguramente nos van a servir para tratar de empezar a ver las cosas de otra forma. Quiero recordarles también a todos los que no tienen un receptor de interpretación simultánea en la parte de atrás, pueden obtener uno si es que lo necesitan. Y bueno, pues yo le regreso el micrófono a Rebeca. Nuevamente muchas gracias y disfrutemos el día de hoy.
Gracias, Raúl. Okay, so we're going to get started. We have a couple of words of welcome. We're going to hear a quick video from Mr. Daniel Whitley, and for a lot of the folks in the room, Daniel Whitley is the head of the USDA's Foreign Agricultural Service. And again, the Foreign Agricultural Service, or FAS, are our partners. We work together in a public-private partnership. So we're going to hear a couple of words from Daniel Whitley, and then we're going to ask Mr. John Sleddy, who's the head of the Agricultural Trade Office in Mexico City, to also come up and say a few words. And then you don't get to get rid of me. I will be back to introduce our first speaker, who's going to kick this off in an incredibly inspiring way. So can we roll tape?
Hola, ¿cómo están todos? Bienvenidos. I'm Daniel Whitley, and I'm the administrator of the Foreign Agricultural Service at USDA, and I want to give you all very warm greetings in Cancun. Now, I have to say, I'm doing this virtually, but I would much rather be in person with all of you, as I'm sure you can understand. But on behalf of USDA, I want to thank the host and sponsors for putting this wonderful conference together, a one-stop shop global buyer and seller exchange over the next couple of days. I appreciate the opportunity to highlight USDA's significant work with your sector to support market development and trade. USDA works every day to create and expand export market opportunities for our farmers, ranchers, producers, and processors. Beans have moved into the spotlight as a result of a growing demand for plant protein, healthy foods, and sustainably produced crops that can return nutrients back into the soil. FAS directly supports your industry through a team of agriculture economists, marketing experts, negotiators, and trade specialists in Washington, D.C., and throughout our network of foreign service officers posted in nearly 100 international offices covering 180 markets around the world. Under the Biden-Harris administration, U.S. agricultural exports have significantly increased, setting a record in 2022. For 2023, we are awaiting final numbers, but it is forecast at the second highest level ever, nearly $180 billion. And thanks to our joint work together, opening and maintaining markets, we are on track for 2023 to be a record year of exports for U.S. dry beans, including garbanzos, with $508 million in the first 11 months of 2023. This is up from $362 million in 2022. Our FAS collaboration with the U.S. Dry Bean Council, combined with our Farm Bill authorized market promotion programs, has contributed to our strongest export numbers on record. Through a series of farm bills, U.S. Congress authorized and refined an effective combination of agricultural market development and export credit guarantee programs. These programs are designed to develop markets, facilitate financing of overseas sales, and resolve market access barriers. All of these goals are central to the FAS mission of linking U.S. agriculture to the world to enhance export opportunities and global food security. The 2018 Farm Bill expired on September 30th, 2023, but has been extended for an additional year. This allows us to continue working on a number of our programs, including several that facilitate market development, U.S. commodity promotion efforts in foreign markets, and trade capacity building. In addition to the critical programs authorized by the 2018 Farm Bill, last October, Secretary Vilsack announced that the USDA will use funds from the Commodity Credit Corporation to provide $2.3 billion to help American producers maintain and develop markets for their commodities and use U.S. commodities to bolster international food aid. But while the United States has long been a global leader in food and agricultural exports, the reality is nearly 2/3 of our exports go to just 6 countries: the People's Republic of China, our partners in North America, Mexico and Canada, Japan, the EU, and South Korea. At USDA, we are determined to not only maintain our strong presence in these countries, but we also want to create and leverage opportunities in new potential markets that emerge to bring more U.S. products to all parts of the world. We are increasingly encouraging market diversification under our FAS market development programs, and in the past 2 years, we have seen U.S. exporters increase their investments in several top markets. This is why USDA is designating $1.2 billion of this new funding for the Regional Agricultural Promotion Program, or RAP, which is expected to enable exporters to break into new markets and increase market share in growth markets. While the application window for the first tranche of RAP funding closes today, there will be many more additional opportunities for you to apply for future RAP investments. With traditional support from RAP, we can strengthen U.S. agriculture's presence in existing markets, open new market opportunities, and build on our relationships and connections to ensure high quality and reliable U.S. food and agri products are available and accessible in the global marketplace. Through trade promotion programs such as the MAP program and the Foreign Market Development Program, and now RAP, FS works with cooperators to support U.S. exporters in developing and maintaining markets all around the world. In your sector, the U.S. Dry Bean Council represents nearly 100% of U.S. dry bean producers and has been a USDA cooperator since 1990. The 2018 Farm Bill and the one-year extension enacted in November maintained a MAP at $200 million of CCC funds and authorized $34.5 million in CCC funds for foreign market development. These funding levels leverage industry contributions, often with support from producer checkoff programs that aid in the creation and expansion of markets, as well as maintain access to foreign markets for hundreds of U.S. agricultural products, including U.S. dry beans. We value the relationships we have built with the cooperator community and with the producer members who rely on your knowledge and services that benefit U.S. agriculture. Thank you again for your time and attendance over these next 2 days. USDA, the United States Trade Representative's Office, and the U.S. industry stand ready to continue this important business-to-business dialogue. Enjoy.
Ladies and gentlemen, good morning. And Rebecca, thank you for that kind introduction before Administrator Whitley's remarks. Once again, my name is John Sleddy, and I'm the director of USDA's Agricultural Trade Office at the U.S. Embassy in Mexico City, and it's such a pleasure to be here. It's especially wonderful to reconnect with some old acquaintances. It's always fantastic to have those opportunities, and they don't always come around very often, but it's great to meet so many new acquaintances as well. So today I have the unenviable position of having to follow my boss, FAS Administrator Danny Whitley, and he did a really outstanding job introducing our agency. But I'll add, on behalf of all of the FAS offices here in Mexico, I am so pleased to welcome you all to Cancun in the beautiful state of Quintana Roo. I'd like to recognize the president of the U.S. Dry Bean Council, Quint Stoutenberg, current chairman of the Council's International Promotions Committee, Joe Kramer, and of course, Rebecca Bratter and her entire team at the U.S. Dry Bean Council for all their hard work putting together an event of this caliber. I know that we've already had a round of applause, but I would just like to recognize Dee and Raul and Violeta and the whole team that put this together. So thank you so much for all of your hard work. The United States and Mexico are more than just neighbors or trading partners. We are two independent nations brought together by friendship, common values, and shared cultural ties. The U.S. and Mexican officials that engage regularly get to the highest levels of our respective governments to address shared opportunities and challenges. 2024 marks 30 years since the NAFTA agreement entered into force, followed by the newer U.S.-Mexico-Canada agreement, or USMCA, or TEMEC, as it's known locally. Our historic free trade agreements have provided unprecedented economic opportunities for farmers, ranchers, and agribusinesses on both sides of the border. Together, we have built markets, created efficiencies, and built the world's largest food and agricultural bilateral relationship in terms of trade. So I'd like to thank all of you for being here, for solidifying those relationships, and for reminding people that open trade flows and our bilateral economic integration are critical tools for addressing concerns related to challenges like access to food and food price inflation. I think that message is especially important to reinforce given that we're coming up on elections and government transitions on both sides of the border this year. FAS Mexico appreciates the U.S. Dry Bean Council's consistent and regular presence here in Mexico, the largest international market for U.S. dry bean exports. USDA has maintained a presence in Mexico since the 1940s. And as mentioned before, FAS operates a number of offices here in Mexico, including 2 offices of agricultural affairs. One is located in Mexico City, and the other is located in Guadalajara, as well as 2 agricultural trade offices. We have one of those also in Mexico City and one up in Monterrey. The agricultural trade offices, or the ATOs, in Mexico City and Monterrey are charged with leading our market development work, which we carry out in close cooperation with private sector cooperators like the U.S. Dry Bean Council. Our cooperator relationships go back over 50 years, and they are a cornerstone of USDA's international activities. Then there are our commodity analysis and reporting duties, as well as the work that we do on market access. These responsibilities take up most of the time in our embassy's Office of Agricultural Affairs. An important part of our market access mission is to help solve problems. As many of you are aware, since September 2023, a surge in irregular migration at the US-Mexico border led to a cascading effect of rail congestion and intermittent stoppages for US dry beans and other US origin agricultural exports to Mexico. FAS Mexico worked closely with Rebecca and other members of the dry bean community to share information. We continue to analyze that situation, advise USDA leadership, and facilitate dialogue between Mexican railroads and US trade groups. Although the situation has improved somewhat since September, we continue to convey the severity of the impacts to both US trade interests and the Mexican North American food supply. FAS staff in Mexico and throughout the region stand ready to work with you on regulatory, technical, and other constraints that restrict US exports and limit your business opportunities. In closing, let me just say that FAS offices here in Mexico and throughout the region and around the world are here to be an asset for you. We have the right resources, the right programs, and the right people to support your needs. Thank you so much for the opportunity to address this group, and I'm looking forward to meeting everybody, and go BeanCon 2024.